BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, NHL, and much more. Head to BetOnline today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline. The game starts here.
This shit feel like game 7. Put lines on through my action. Wake up in the morning, count my blessings. Feel like heaven. This shit feel like game 7.
Welcome to the Money Down, the Believe Network, presented by BetOnline.ag. Back again with another live episode. Appreciate you guys tapping in, liking, subscribing. I guess first things first, though, man. So there are a lot of disgruntled fans in New England. People booing, trying to scream fire Gerard Mayo, fire Elliott Wolf, fire everybody. Get rid of all the players. I know that's what typically happens when you're a team that's only won a few games. There's a lot of frustration with everything that happens. And the Patriots suffered another disappointing loss. Got beat up by the Chargers.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop anything. Couldn't do anything on offense. And it was pretty disappointing. I mean, as a former player, definitely disappointing to watch for sure. But I think you got to kind of understand, where the team is at. I think coming into the season, very low expectations. And it seems like now that the games are rolling, people expected more. But I expect them to win more than the games that they have won so far, right now. But I figured they'd be kind of in this spot. A top 5 draft pick, maybe not number 1, but a top 5 draft pick. I mean, if you're sitting at number 1 as they are right now, I mean, look, you got some good collateral there. You can, if you want to trade back, you want to trade back. If you want to draft the guy you want at number 1, you can do whatever you need to do there. But to say fire, Gerard Mayo, fire Elliott Wolf, I think that's a little bit of a stretch, in my opinion. I understand what they have done so far. It hasn't looked great. The draft picks, aside from Drake May, haven't done much so far, but cool. Look, I got drafted in 2014. I ain't played nothing but 3 games. I didn't do nothing my rookie season, so I'm sure a lot of people saying I was garbage, get rid of me. My rookie season as well. So guys like, Baker and Polk, give them some time. Those guys can get right. They'll have an opportunity to help the team going forward. And as far as Mayo and Elliott Wolf, look, this is an important offseason for those guys. Look, first time being a GM, first time being a head coach. First season, you kind of learn on the fly. You're going to learn from the ups and downs. You're going to figure it out. Then that next season, obviously you got to see improvement. And that's what, I want to see. I think it's hard to judge, coaches in year 1. Is a lot that was going on. A lot that was going on within the organization. Obviously, you lose, Bill Belichick, greatest coach of all time. They struggled last year, so it's kind of hard to think, Mayo's just going to walk in here and completely shift everything that was going on. So I think everybody has to be a little bit more patient. It's hard. It's tough. Yeah. It's tough when you be getting beat up like that. You want to see a competitive, especially after last week playing Buffalo, really good, and then now this week, look completely opposite. But just give it time. It's a very important offseason as far as draft and free agency. Just let it work out. Let Mayo and Elliott will figure it out. And then look, if things aren't great next year, fine. Have at it. Let it fly. If the things don't shake out right. I don't know how y'all feel about it.
Yeah, I just figured and I don't want to say this in a crazy way, but what did fans expect, right? Like last year struggled last year, and then even more so this year, with knowing that you were gonna let Jacoby come in and kind of weather the ship a little bit until you felt like Drake May was ready to go out there, and they put him out there early. So you got a rookie quarterback and a lot of pieces on the outside and even on the offensive line. Like, it was so much that you knew was going to have to be fixed. But I feel like this was the year to come in and see what you got. And, for guys like Mayo and the GM, you now know, right? Like, you need to fix the offensive line issue. Your secondary is good, and you got a star at corner, right? So you know what you can kind of fix and what you can kind of tweak and get better at. And I just think it's just crazy for people to be calling for a first-year coach's job, and a New England guy who has been in that building and been in that system. Like, you got to give people the opportunity and the chance to to go out there and kind of figure it out. I mean, we're talking about a team where you look at it, right? They've had some games where they got beaten up, right? And that comes with it. There's a lot of teams you look at it. I mean, you look around the league, there's a lot of teams again that have gotten beaten up. That's in a position of being able to pick top 5 or top 10, whatever it may be. But then you go and you look at certain games like the Buffalo game, right? Like, and it was a team out there that went out there that competed. That was a winnable game. Like, there's certain games on that schedule and even in the season where it was like they showed something. So, everybody relax, give the guys in the front office and the coaches the opportunity to figure out, what they can fix, draft and everything. And then make your
judgments
after that. But sitting there and screaming for a guy's job, it's just crazy. And I see this comment says the lack of in-game adjustments bother you. James can attest to this because he's been a player in the league for a long time. I can attest to this. In-game, like, people make it seem like there's so much more you can change in the game. People that's listening out there, there might be one minor adjustment, as in if we're pulling the guard, maybe you cut, like, it's something so small. When people say in-game adjustments, they make it seem like you just scrap the whole thing.
Shit the game.
No, it don't work that way. So I get it, maybe the lack of adjustments, but again, first-year head coach, let him figure it out too, right? Like, there's a whole bunch of guys that had to go through this whole process and figure out now what they can do better next for the next season.
And Ken, as a Dolphins fan, I know.
I was going to get there now. I'm pretty sure me and Matt can agree to this. I love to see it right now. I love to see it. It's really just fans being fans. They want to see the Patriots go back to their winning ways. But like you said, in the beginning, what do you expect? What can you expect with the roster they have right now? It's just, I don't know. It could be a success in a way because you got to see what Drake made. You put him out there. Yeah. See what he got. You got the number 1 pick now. I mean, potentially, and then you go from there. Build your pieces. See what you could do. Maybe T. Higgins might come and
hey, we need that. Well, yeah, he's starting to crank up towards the end of the year. But I mean, who knows what happens with that? I know you hear Burrow saying he's gonna do whatever it takes to try and keep him there, which I'm sure he will. But after these final couple games, that price tag probably went up a little bit more. So. I see Lowe said there's no way you can say the team looks more or just as disciplined as where they were last year. I will say this has been a lack of execution, especially offensively. Offensively, look, I mean, probably playing behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league, can't run the football. They've been in spurts where they protected May really well. There's some games they don't block, whatsoever. So it's really hard to scheme things up as an offensive coordinator when your line, first and foremost, can't protect or block in the run game. It's tough. I don't care who you are trying to dial that junk. I mean, they've had like so many different lineups that is difficult. Like I remember in 2015, the year we lost to the Broncos in the AFC Championship. That year we shuffled like plenty of different lineups. And look, we made it far, but in the end, we played a very good pass rush. In that playoff game, we ain't stand a chance because those guys just weren't on the field, just didn't have that chemistry together. And look, they had like 8 sacks on us. They were rushing 3. We had 8 people blocking. Sack, like jump was crazy. But defensively, I just think it needs to be better on that end too. I know you miss guys in the middle like Juwan Bentley, a leader of the team, leader on the defense. You miss Barmore, who's he played a couple games, but he's still not fully healthy. Hopefully, my guy can get back out there. You miss Duggar for a little bit, and then ever since he's been back, he's struggled some. So
a little bit.
I mean, it's only been pretty one consistent guy on that defense. That's been Christian Gonzalez. He's been playing lights out. He got hurt, this past weekend, but you've had really one consistent player on the defense, and it's hard. When you have one consistent player on the entire team, it's tough. But look, final game of the year this year. I mean, playing the Bills, they probably ain't gonna play nobody. We'll see what happens. I mean, you can play some guys that potentially you haven't seen all year long to see what they potentially have. Maybe you can get guys like Baker and Polk going in this last game to give them some confidence, going into the offseason. I think that'll be major for those guys. But yeah, tough year for the Pats, man. Definitely hard to watch. But look, I mean, sitting with that number 1 pick, I think, you got gold right there. So look, whether it's Travis Hunter, whether you want to trade back, get offensive lineman, trade back, get Tretch. But we got to pull up this social standout scenario since we're talking about that from Nick Wright. Now, I always see people talking about talking heads and all that. But I don't know what y'all talking about. We're talking about talking heads, but this is insane. This man talking about, the Patriots, if they fall in love with Shedeur Sanders, trade back, instead of trading the number 1 pick, you trade Drake.
Oh, James cut out.
Oh,
that's first. But the Patriots fell in love with. I didn't even see this tweet. The Patriots fell in love with Shedeur and instead trading for the number 1 pick, they should. Man, people got to understand. It's all this stuff. It's clickbait for sure. It's clickbait, and that's what keep people and guys relevant. In the social media space, I mean, we've known Nick Wright to be somebody who say a lot of crazy and outrageous things right there, and I think you see that from this tweet. If I was the Patriots, oh, there we go, we got him back. If I was the Patriots, this is a franchise changing draft, especially with having that number 1 pick. You've seen teams, obviously like not Chicago. You've seen, I want to say Carolina be in a situation where they had to trade and get up to get the quarterback that they have now, Bryce Young. But I want to say Chicago has been in this situation. Hell, you even look at teams like Philly, right? Philly has had drafts where they've had 2 picks in the first round, and you've seen that they've hit goal with their picks that they were able to draft. And I think that's the position that the Patriots are in this season, right? Like they have to, especially with all the buzz going on around the facility and from the fans. This is a make or break draft for that coaching staff and even this franchise, because obviously with the number 1 pick, you're not going to take a quarterback. You've got your franchise quarterback in Drake May. Now it's just a matter of right? Like, do you trade back and do you draft Travis Hunter and you put a receiver or put him at receiver or put him at corner, however you want to pair him, or do you go with alignment? I personally think you can build your line through the draft. And that's just me, but there is some linemen out there that is I want to say game changing and franchise changing at that position, but it's all off preference, man. And that's why you have these scouts and you have these front offices that can do their homework and they can figure out what needs to be done and what they think is the best route for the Patriots going forward. And only thing I can say is we can wait and see. But this is a franchise changing draft for the Patriots this season for sure.
Got to get it right. But we'll turn the page to some of the other games that went on this weekend. We had the Packers versus Vikings, which was probably the best matchup of the weekend. And the Vikings, man, Sam Darnold and company, they've been handling business. Got a big win against the Packers, who's a good football team. I know I've been seeing some Packers fans. We went to Wisconsin, so I see a lot of the Packers fans tweets on my page and everything, kind of frustrated that they can't beat the teams in their division and good football teams, which I still think the Packers are pretty dangerous, but the Vikings are very, very impressive, man. And I keep saying probably every week, Sam Darnold got to get his kid credit for what he's been able to do. And then Addison, Jefferson, Hawkinson, and company, and then that defense, man, all these celebrations that they be doing. It's crazy that these dudes actually choreograph.
It's so dope, bro. So dope.
It's cool. That's team chemistry, though, y'all. You love to see the guys celebrating together, doing all that to make sure when they make a play, they're going to let you know about it. So you better not turn that rock over. I will say that, man.
I wonder why James keep cutting out. My question is, and I'm sure we'll get James back here in a second, but like, I don't know what is that James? Is that James, Matt? I don't know.
I'm about to show the video, I think.
My thing is, do you pay Sam Darnold, right? Like, that's gonna be bro,
you can't.
No,
I wouldn't do it, man. You just drafted your quarterback. I mean, Sam is having a hell of a year, but I don't know, man. Who's to say JJ? I could be JJ next year. You don't know.
Yeah, I just feel like at the same time though, it's Sam has taken that team, and here's the thing, right? What if Sam does take that team to the NFC Championship or even to the Super Bowl, and he's able to win? Like, I just think he's put that team in a situation and a spot where they're gonna have to really sit back, because you don't know what you're gonna get from JJ, right? Like, we was hearing things coming out of their camp that he was playing extremely well, but at the same time, it's like, do you take a rookie over a guy that has come in and has proven that he can handle the ship and he can, satisfy everybody? Obviously, Addison is satisfied on the outside. Jettas is satisfied on the outside. TJ Hawkinson is, I know he battled through injuries. He's gonna come back and he's gonna be who he is. But I just look at their whole roster and just sit there and think, man, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to go deep into the playoffs and just let him walk in the offseason. Because believe it or not, one of these franchises is gonna offer him life-changing money. I'm even thinking how the New York Giants have positioned with winning that game that they shouldn't have won on Sunday, right? Like, do you not draft a quarterback in the first round and do you go get a Sam Darnold? Like, there's so many teams that I feel like is going to be put in a great situation that's going to offer him money that's going to be changing. So it's going to be a tough decision. It's going to be a tough decision for sure.
For sure. I'm with you. I agree. If I'm Minnesota, I would do what I can to keep him, but I'm not breaking the bank. Like, I ain't breaking the bank for him. I understand what he's doing. Yeah, I understand what he's doing, what he did. But let's just say, too, it depends. I feel like the playoffs is going to depend on what he does in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
The playoffs is where he's going to earn his paycheck right there. So we'll see.
Technology, man, it's gonna be crazy.
hey, you had to go back to the old reliable. Hey, that camera was a match. I ain't gonna lie to you. Lo said something too early, and I said something to you before that. Whatever camera he got, excuse my language, that shit look 4K perfect. Like, we all need that joint. That's fine.
Joint overheating, so got to figure out a way to supply that bit. So got to figure that out. But Mike is definitely legit. I mean, obviously the Lions, they playing the 49ers right now, but that game next weekend, for the division, that's definitely gonna be a good one. Sunday Night Football, Lions, Vikings. I don't know who y'all like in that matchup, man. It's tough, man. I might go Vikings just because that defense. Lions defense. That Lions defense. I don't know.
That's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna go Minnesota, man. I'm gonna go Minnesota. You can't when you got a good defense, the offense is playing great. That's a complete team right there. Complete team. You can't beat that.
I'm gonna go Detroit, and I just think just because they have been flying at they've been flying high all season, and I think it's something about the divisional games, right? Like you can look at all the injuries that Detroit have on the defense side of the ball, and I think right now with this game, they're even right now, right? If you're just trying to get your offense out of that game healthy. But just knowing how much is at stake, being able to get that first round bye, hopefully being able to get a couple players back on the defensive side of the ball. I know it's a pretty lengthy injury report with some guys being out, for the season or for however long it may be. But I just think it's vital for Detroit to get that first round bye. So they got to go all in. And I think Dan Campbell going to have them in a good spot. James, before we go, so I was just asking Ken, right? Like, if you Minnesota, do you pay Sam Darnold? Like, he's put them in an extremely tough situation moving forward into like this offseason, right? Like, if he take them to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl, how you feel about that from a GM standpoint?
I mean, even if he don't, I'm paying him. I ain't gonna pay him, $50 million, but I'll pay him, give him a 2-year deal. Like 30, 35, something like that. I ain't breaking the bank for you, but
that's exactly what I said.
So regardless of how he do, right? If he take you to the NFC Championship or Super Bowl, he win the Super Bowl. You set on just paying him that number. Somebody gonna give him way more than that. He leaving y'all. Yeah. He leaving y'all.
But do you want to leave?
Earned it.
Do you want to leave it though? Justin Jefferson, Addison. Do you want to leave that? Like,
that's
for sure.
We got too many people we gotta pick.
Yeah, it just depends on the right and Los with franchise tag and something like that. That's kind of might be the safest option is to lock him down for 1 year. See if he perform again like that, and then after that, maybe you can let him go. Maybe JJ McCarthy gets back healthy because during the preseason he looked really good. Yeah, so preseason is different than regular season, but we'll see what happens with that. But I think he's earned it. If I'm Kevin O'Connell, even if I'm Jefferson and Addison too, I'm like, hey, I don't want Bradley. You know what I'm saying? I want my guy still there. And then we had the Dolphins, man. The Dolphins, they went out there, got them a big dub. You had our guy, man, Big Snoop, went out there. Tua hurt.
Shout out Snoop.
He had a hurt hip. Snoop stepped in there and got him a dub. Much needed dub, kept them hopes alive. Y'all still need some magic to happen. But how you feel about the Dolphins? You think somehow?
I'm torn. I'm torn, man. I'm torn. half of me wanted to just lose, man, get good draft stock. But of course, the fan of me want to make the playoffs. The fan of me, I want to make the playoffs, but it's just like, are we really gonna do something, man? We not beating Buffalo. We haven't won in Buffalo.
Never know, bro.
You never know. Yeah,
never know
for sure. But it's like, God damn, I don't know, bro. But it's just crazy. Tyreek just had his damn near probably the best game of the season with Huntley at quarterback. I mean, like, that's crazy. But you see, like, Mike kind of changed it up. He made it a vocal point to get Tyreek the ball. He wasn't doing that all season. Yeah. So it's like, maybe if we make the playoffs, maybe make some adjustments like this we talked about, and it changes. But Tua at the hip, we don't know what the fuck is going on. So I don't know. But
it's hard to trust y'all. Yeah, it's hard to trust y'all, man.
It's tough. And I seen Ken, bro. Like, it was Twitter. I seen your tweets. Like, what game was that y'all won? The game y'all won what last week? Who'd y'all beat last week?
San Fran.
Yeah, bro, you was pissed. You was mad that y'all won the game.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. I put my money on San Fran. I didn't expect this.
So that's why you was. Oh, so you didn't expect that. I thought you was more so upset as far as like drafting and drafting position. For you guys, but I think it's a tough spot. And me and Ken, we just went out to eat not too long ago, and we talked about it. Right, like it's one of those things where I feel like if the Dolphins make the playoffs, everybody been calling for. It's a lot of people down here, especially that's been calling for Mike McDaniel's job, calling for the GM job. It's one of those things, right, where like if they make the playoffs, they ain't fired. Like I don't think they're gonna make a change like that. And even if they don't, I mean, I don't think they will, but it's more of a chance of them to, kind of clean shot. But if y'all make the playoffs, I just think Miami fans better gear up for another season of straight screens and all that stuff like that.
It's the same thing with Joe Philbin, Adam Gase, this and that. We 8-8, 10-6. So it's the same shit every year. Different coach.
Yeah, he gonna get some grace because Tua were hurt this year for like half
for
the
sure.
year, so he can't really fire him after that. So he gonna be back next year for sure. They definitely not letting him go. So y'all still got talent though. Hopefully Tua can play a full 17. That's what it comes down to. Can Tua play a full 17?
Y'all playing Ken? That team gonna look super different next year. Because Javon is Javon Holland, right? Like I don't think y'all gonna pay him.
He had a kind of a down year though. Yeah.
I love Javon Holland. Like I think if I was Miami, I would pay him. But if not, somebody's gonna pay him the money because he deserves it. But I'm just thinking of Javon Holland. I've been seeing a lot of chatter going on with going blank on the receiver, not Tyreek Hill. The other, I don't know why. I'm hearing a lot of with Jalen Waddle. Like
happy,
not even that. Like they just paid him, and it's just like he either been hurt or he just looked like he got the bread and he's vibing.
That's what happens when you're losing, though. That's what happens when you're inconsistent. You losing this and that. People not getting the ball. Tyreek on Snapchat and social media every week.
Yeah, he be saying some wild stuff like that, ambiguous information. Like, what is he talking about?
So I just think it's gonna be a dope off season. We'll see how that works out for them.
Definitely be a lot of fun, man. Then we also had a really good game this past weekend happen on Saturday. We had the Broncos and Cincinnati. A wild ending to that one. Yeah. T. Higgins, that boy, he gave. That Riley had that boy stressing. And I don't know why I got to switch that matchup. Got to give me double coverage or something. Coach, need some help. Like,
which is so. What's so crazy? And hey, Jimmy, love Coach Leonard, love everything. But I'm just surprised that they didn't double T. Higgins and bring out Pat. Man, if Jamar Chase cooked Pat, which. Bro, that's something that you just gotta live with, right? I was just surprised on. We talk about like the in game adjustments. Like to me, that was just surprising that they didn't figure out how they could probably eliminate. Like maybe you double Jamar Chase and you put Pat on, T. Higgins and you just let them battle it out. Like it's certain things that I was expecting them to do in that game plan, but I just think it was so much of the media and attention on Pat versus Jamar Chase that you kind of, I think as coaches you get lost in the sauce and you get tired in that. You know what I'm saying? You get tired in that too. So I just didn't understand. But a great game, bro. Like, man, Joe Burrow. I know we've been talking, and we kind of dropped our MVP ratings and who we figured would win MVP. But man, the Bengals somehow figure out a way to get in this postseason. And I've been telling Ken and Braylon, like, I don't think nobody want to see Cincinnati in that offense. And if he could find a way, like his numbers speak and say, MVP, volume and it has MVP all over it. So I just think it's gonna be an interesting last week, man. It's gonna be super interesting.
No, for sure, it is.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of that game, we'll might as well take it to the segment, to the money down segment where plays are made, and that's how you get paid. We're gonna take you out to Cincinnati, man. And look at this catch right here, man. Game on the line now. Double coverage. Bo Nixon throw it up.
Hey, that's that meme. Yeah. Hey, that's that meme. That's me down there somewhere.
Hey, man, that's one heck of a catch. This kid, he been balling too every week.
And he was like that at Oklahoma, right? Like
big play threat. Yeah.
He was always a big play threat at Oklahoma, and he's made plays like that for majority of this season. Shoot, we talk about this play, the touchdown where I want to say he beat cover 4 and Bo just threw like a perfect post. Yeah. Bro, it's a lot to talk about with this Denver offense, and I know coming in it was kind of like, is Bo Nix a first-round quarterback compared to all the guys that was drafted before him? And bro, I feel like he's played lights out, and the throws that he made on that Saturday game was ultra impressive. I wish we could pull up that post throw. I don't know if Matt's able to get it, but yeah, that team's gonna be good moving forward.
And I will say this too. I know Jay. I've been telling Jay ever since Bo Nix was in Auburn, man. I hated Bo Nix. I was not a fan of Bo. I did not see him succeeding. I will admit, I did not see him doing good, but I ain't gonna lie, eat my words. That boy balling.
Yeah. And they got a lot of young talent over there. I mean, you got Franklin they drafted from Oregon. You still got Sutton, and you obviously got Mims too. So look, man, and they got Javonte Williams at back. So they got Sean Payton. He done got it right. I mean, like I said, I question that man coming into the season. But
Me too.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie with hating. I want to see him do good.
I kind of want to see him. He'll struggle a little bit, but hey, they still got a chance to be in the playoffs. We'll see if because y'all, pretty sure Dolphins, y'all need them to lose. Y'all need what, like them to lose, and who else?
We got to win, and they got to lose.
But it's a crazy situation because like and me and Ken was just talking about this. If you're Kansas City, right? I feel like obviously Broncos division game, right? You could spoil their season and they don't get in the playoffs if you beat them. But then at the same time, it's like, I don't think nobody want to see, like, Cincinnati is the scary team to the point where it's like, I mean, I might as well just let Denver win this game because
we know y'all.
And you definitely don't want Joe Curran. What they call it, like Joe? What they call it, Burrowhead or something? They call it something crazy. You don't want to see Nine and Chase and T. Higgins and them rolling through Arrowhead. I don't care what nobody say. That offense is gonna be lethal. So I just think Kansas City is in an interesting spot. As far as this last game.
Yeah, so that's definitely gonna be interesting. Some interesting decisions have to be made. You're gonna rest your players, you're gonna play them. And speaking of that, might as well go to the Eagles. The Eagles played the Cowboys this weekend. Saquon had himself a pretty good day. He, knocked down, chopped off some of them yards off that rushing record. Now, pretty sure he only needs 101 yards to break this record against the Giants this weekend. So, do y'all think they should rest him?
Go for it. Go for it. Yeah. You don't know if you're ever gonna get this chance again. You got to.
Got to.
And if I'm saying, if you don't let me go for that, man, I'm hot.
I agree with you. I got to go for it, especially after I had a solid game this past weekend. All I need is 100 against my former team too. Who ain't want to pay me? Oh man, I might go for 300. I might go shatter. I know, but as soon as he break the record, I'm sure they're gonna take him.
You gotta pull him
out of the game. You know what I'm saying? But I hope he goes and gets it. I hope he go get in the first or second quarter too. That'd be dope.
Is the game in New York?
Ooh, I think they played in New York early. I'm pretty sure they played in New York early in the year.
So it's in Philly. Yeah, you gotta. I mean, regardless if it was in New York or Philly, you gotta go for it. Again, like you said, Ken, this is an opportunity, right? Like, I don't think we've had a back be this close maybe since AP, as far as I can remember. I mean, I'm sure there's been backs that, Derrick Henry might have been close at some point in his career, but
CJ2K.
yeah, and then I mean, so they went for two. Yeah, I mean, they rushed for 2K, but I don't know about breaking this record. It's not gonna come around very often, man. You gotta break it at home. If the game's at home, get your standing ovation, and gear up for the playoffs. But it's definitely something that they gotta leave him in and give him the opportunity to go ahead and break it. I want to say this to y'all boys though: if that record is broken against the Giants, you want to talk about blown like setting a building on fire just because everything that happened on Hard Knocks this offseason, right? Like you let the safety go to Green Bay, which he's having an all-pro year, right? He's gonna be an all-pro, he's gonna be a pro bowler. And then just the whole footage on Saquon and him actually, like, I want to say wanting to be there, but you feeling like you don't want to pay him this number. And then, some of the words that was said to the GM and all that stuff. Like, this is a crazy offseason for the Giants. And yeah, I don't care what everybody in that building need to be let go.
Yes. I don't know why they ever let that leak out of there. I mean, I'd have made sure, like, hey, y'all cut that. y'all don't air that.
Yeah, like, I get you want to show the fans, but some of that stuff, bro, keep that shit in house.
In-house.
I mean, damn, especially after the year he having. I mean, shout out to Saquon though, man. Go get that record this weekend. Definitely rooting for you. Then we had the Sunday night game. We had Commanders versus Falcons. Came down to the wire. I mean, we had Penix starting his second game. Played all right. Then, they gave Jaden Daniels an opportunity towards the end of the game to, have a drive, and he handled his own. His skinny behind me, he be getting in the mix. He be getting smacked. He be getting smacked in there, but he tough though. He tough, scrambling, making plays. So. Look, the young kid is definitely special. I think he's probably the rookie of the year, probably in my opinion. I mean, it's tough. Yeah. There's some good receivers that balled out. I mean, what they had, Lad McConkey went over stat, Brian Thomas
Brock
went over
Bowers.
Brock Bowers over. So that was some competition. But to see what he's done for that organization, where nobody expected them probably to be in the playoffs or nothing to be this good, and it's a lot falls on his plate. So shout out to him. Thought the Sunday night game was good. That pass he made to Ertz to win it was dope, and the couple plays he made before that too to get him there was cool. But I think for y'all, the Falcons, man, I think y'all got y'all guy though when it comes to Michael Penix.
Yeah,
he got thrown in a tough spot. These last couple weeks, y'all fighting for the win the division, make the playoffs, and everything. That's a lot of pressure, for a rookie quarterback. So, I mean, do y'all potentially still got a chance to, or y'all eliminated?
Yeah, so we got a chance, but So we play the Panthers this week. We absolutely need the Saints to beat the Bucs because we beat Tampa Bay twice. And it's just so frustrating because, man, if we make the field goal, no matter you put yourself where you win the division, no matter what, because you got the tiebreaker or whatever the case is over the Bucs because we won. But I mean, again, like you said, Penix played good and to his credit, rookie quarterback being thrown out there. I know the first game that he played against the Giants was kind of like a field game for him, and then to have to come out and perform again in a game where it's pretty much like, win or you put your fate in another team's hands. He went out there and he played well. He missed a couple throws, in my opinion, that were easy throws. But I think, as a rookie quarterback, you gotta get in your rhythm and get in motion. And I just don't think he's had enough time and enough game experience to do that. So I think moving forward in the future, man, between Drake London and Mooney, I think we, who knows what we do with Kyle Pitts, right? Like, I kind of seen, he's throwing the ball to Kyle Pitts too. So it's just like I feel like we have the core guys around him as well as a star running back with Bijan Robinson. Like, we got the weapons for him to be successful. Now it's just a matter of him getting those game reps, which he's been doing, and seeing where he takes him. I hope we are able to make the playoffs because that'll give him an experience that not a lot of rookie quarterbacks get in to help him grow in the future.
Yeah, I think y'all definitely got a solid core. You go ahead, Ken.
And Jay, I know you're a Falcons fan, but man, you know we ain't trying to see that, man. Put Tampa Bay in there, man. Let's see Mike Evans and them go crazy. In the playoffs,
Boy, that boy lighting it up. Yeah, Tampa Bay.
Man, damn.
Bucky Irving.
Bucky nice. But the thing is, though, we say that about Tampa. Tampa can't. We mopped the floor with Tampa this year. Like, so it's always crazy, like just how the matchups work, right? Like you got Tampa that might go and gun somebody else, but then if they see us, it's like they don't want to see us, but we don't want to see certain teams. So I never like. It's always crazy how the matchups play a factor into it. But man, shoot. Ken, you tripping? You don't want to see Drake London. I think Drake went for a rack this year. Man, Mooney, it's all type. Bijan, Bijan
running that thing. Yeah, he balls.
Bijan running that pill. If we get in them playoffs, we'll be a sleeper team for sure. Shit, we gonna get popped out the first.
Hey, at least you get your foot in the door. I mean, that's especially with changing quarterbacks and Kurt tripping a little bit to still be able to get in there. If y'all do, that's a pretty successful season with a first year head coach there with Raheem Morris, which I said they still got some things to figure out how.
I feel like we should have kept Kirk in that, dog.
I let Kurt ride.
That change surprised me. I was surprised.
It changed me, but but James, like it's all rhythm. It's all rhythm, and you go through patches, right? Like I mean, you played with the greatest of all time, and I'm sure it might have not been to that extent, but like
you go through some stretch where junk ain't working, like,
where
just ain't clicking.
Just ain't clicking. Like I remember watching Tom Brady that last year in Tampa, or maybe I want to say last year in Tampa, and it just was like this is what Peyton Manning looked like, when he was throwing ducks in the dirt, but they end up winning the Super Bowl. Like, so it's just patches that you got to go through to try and figure it out. So when they pulled him, I'm like, I get it. He is playing bad, but at the standpoint, we are still in the playoff race. I want to ride and go, all in on the quarterback that I know that have been there.
And we paid him on that cheese. You better get us right.
Kirk been pulling high since 2010 or something like that. Like whoever his agent is, y'all young boys better figure it out.
Most of his contract been fully guaranteed too, so that's definitely shout out to the agents. Man, I guess I got to turn the page back to Christmas Day till we had the Christmas Day games. We had the Chiefs, they played the Steelers, and then we had the Ravens versus Texas, where the Chiefs, they clinched the #1 seed. They've been handling their business. They win however they need to win. They go out there, win a game. Now you got Hollywood Brown back and everything healthy. So
dangerous,
I know earlier I was saying, like, man, I think that luck gonna run out, but it's like hey, I don't know. Yes, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Because we all know, maybe if you give Mahomes, it's kind of like that Brady effect, a possession towards the end of the game, more than likely he's going to go down, either get Bucker in field goal position or he's going to go down and score a touchdown. So they know how to play those close football games. I just wonder which team in the AFC would put the most stress on them. Like, I know Baltimore, if they could play their game when they get that matchup, that's the thing when it comes to them. And I know obviously Buffalo, but they were able to beat them early on the year, so they probably feel good about that matchup going into it. But still, that's always a toss-up. They could take it to them because Josh Allen been playing very well this year. So I don't know, but they definitely a dangerous football team. It's just they #1 seed, but just somehow don't seem like they're the #1 seed, although they only lost one game. But they getting kind of healthy, rejuvenated. Got Worthy, you got Hollywood Brown, you got DeAndre Hopkins, got Pacheco back healthy, and obviously you got Kelsey too. So it's a much better receiving core what he's dealing with last year. So it's like, damn, I know the chemistry ain't all the way there, but
and we say the chemistry ain't there, but shit, it's been working.
They gotta be like the quietest 15-1 team we've ever seen.
Ever, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the only person that I think, and I don't think a lot of people has given him credit, and he's only getting like maybe 15 carries a game, maybe less than that. But Kareem Hunt, he is going to be, he is able to share that, the run low with Pacheco. And I think he's been a walking 5 yards where you need to get ahead of the sticks on a, 1st and 10, and you know, we always talk about picking up, you know, positive yards, right? He's picking up, you know, 5-6 yards. Like, that's what's going to be, and he's going to be a bruiser. Like, we talk about cold weather, and we talk about, you know, having to tackle these guys in that type of weather. When you got a back like that that's rested, and you say, hey, man, Kareem, look, I just need you to give me 15 strong carries. Like, when you in there, punish him. And he's doing that, it's going to be an issue. And they're trying to stop what you got to figure out with the on the outside, how, you know, Andy Reid's able to use Worthy. Like, I seen him, I think, on the backfield last game, catch a pass out. Like, it's going to be so much trickery. I don't know. I see Baltimore, baby, being a threat, but I just think Spags got a kind of a blueprint on how he can kind of confuse LJ a little bit. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a very interesting playoffs coming out of the AFC. I don't know what y'all think who might win, but it's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be.
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, Perk bring up a topic there. Do y'all think all the top 5 quarterbacks in the league are all in the AFC? I mean, I think so. You got Patrick Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and what even got CJ Stroud too, which he having a down year this year. So maybe
CJ not.
Get X on.
Who would you put in the NFC? Golf?
I ain't gonna lie, I put Jalen.
Jalen Hurts been playing pretty decent this year. Okay, because you could probably scratch Stroud off that list this year. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else you would throw in there in the AFC. Probably.
I probably say Jalen, bro. I don't know.
I say you got Jalen Goff. I mean, you got to put Goff in there based off this season. I mean, Goff handling. I know obviously the offense is crazy and everything, but hey, he directing that joint. I know he had a couple of weeks where he was throwing books and everything, but I'll say I'll give Goff probably that 5th spot this year, although Jalen Hurts been playing pretty solid as well. Although
maybe not stat wise, but a lot of people sleep on Matthew Stafford, man.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, after the Commanders won that game, we don't have Warren on this week. The Rams were able to clinch the NFC West, so we don't have to hear some Rams talk this week and how, you know, Puka Nacua is the top receiver in the league and all that good stuff and everything. But yeah, shout out.
I got you, Warren. I'm gonna support the
Rams. Hey, and just to let it, after that win, both the Ram fans that we do have in the group chat, y'all could imagine all they was talking about was Puka. One of them said Puka top 3 now. I said, yeah, these boys gotta be
hey, paying them boys.
I don't know what's going on, but Warren, shout out to the Rams. You know, I'm just messing with you. You know, we happy that because we don't gotta hear you talk about them boys. But I think they're gonna be a dangerous team in the playoffs. I think Sean McVay, once they get in there and they whatever team got to see him first, good luck, because he's gonna get the dial and that's up, man. So hey, we'll see.
It's definitely gonna get tough, man. And then we'll turn the page to, you know, some college football, man. I'll steer it to you first, Ken. I mean, obviously a hot topic that, you know, went on this weekend. We had the Miami Hurricanes and the Pop-Tart Bowl. They played Iowa State, and Cam Ward, he decided he was going to play in the game. I mean, supposedly it was decided before the game, some point during the week, that he was only going to play in the first half. And then, you know, he broke the record, went in the locker room, and he didn't play. In the second half, it's kind of, you know, brought everybody up in an uproar, you know, as far as, you know, whether he was just playing to get the record and this and that, whether Cristobal knew this beforehand, and this and all this. Because, you know, most players in this situation, he probably just opted out of the game, not played. He decided to play. And then, hey, I did what I need to do. Hey, y'all handle that. Y'all handle up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all handle up. How you feel about that?
I had no problem with it. I liked it. You know, first of all, it's great that he played in it. You know, you potential number 1 pick, and you playing in this game. You know, you possibly could get hurt. You don't know what can happen, and you playing with your boys out there. So it was nice to see him out there. He was handling business when he was out there. And plus, you know, you sit down, you give your backup, Emery, you give him a chance to touch the field, be out there with the guys, let him get some experience. So you're actually looking out. You feel me? I know the fans want to see them win and this and that. I think it's a different conversation if we win that game. But hey, you know, things happen, but I didn't see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, me neither, bro. And my thing is, did he play to break the record? Hell yeah. And he broke it, and it's time to chill. Like, I've had the whole season to give y'all my all, and he has done that, right? Like, all the UM fans, I see it, everyone, you know, everywhere, you know, people talking about just being so thankful for Cam Ward to come down there and light it up and give y'all an opportunity, right, to be in the playoff conversation. And of course, right, you wish that you could have, the Georgia Tech game back or the Syracuse game back, because maybe they would be in the playoffs with those wins. But he's done everything he could for that university. Exactly. And, we talked about it, right? Like him going out there and playing in the bowl game and being the number one pick, like that's unheard of. So whether it was to break the record or not, like he went out there, he handled his business, and then looking out for your young bull and giving him the opportunity who you think is going to be the quarterback for next year, however this transfer portal thing works for UM, and him going out there and lighting it up too. So I just think when it's something that goes against the norm and people are, it's always going to stir a conversation. It's just super surprising to me to hear former players, bro. Just I don't know, man. The media space, man, kill me with some of the things and some of the takes that former players have. And again, it's their opinion, but I just would think that being in that situation and you could at least see and understand why certain players did what they, why they made the decision to do what they did. And I don't see no problem in it. Hell, bro, you done did everything for the university, man. Go make your money in the league.
Exactly. I don't have no issue with it. Like, obviously, he get to make his own decision. And, college football is a business at the end of the day. I always said, if it was me, if I played in the game, I probably just played the whole game. It'd be hard for me to say because it was a competitive one too. So just for me personally, but like I said, I don't have any issue with him sitting out. Like, hey, I did what I need to do. I told coach, I'm gonna go play this first half. I'm gonna, do what I need to do. Then we're gonna let Embry go out there and handle business, see if he can, close the game out, get him some, some reps in a big time moment in the close game. So yeah, I have no issues whatsoever. And whether guys opt out before the bowl game, this and that, hey, completely your choice. Definitely, hopefully, it works out for you. I think it's always just funny how people say like he gonna have the answer to.
I was gonna ask you that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's gonna have the answer whatsoever. It's like, look, hey, I told
you
coach,
don't care.
It's like, look, I told coach I was only playing the first half. Look, you like what you saw in that first half too.
Yeah,
what I'm saying. So I don't think they blow that kind of out of proportion a little bit. To me, I mean, I think GMs they just watch the tape. They don't care whether you sat out the half or the whole bowl game. Like you got plenty of other tape out there for them to watch. The Pop-Tart Bowl ain't
Pop-Tart Bowl. Right. Come on, bro. That's what I was going. The Pop-Tart Bowl, man. All year, everybody's been raving about how much of a leader he was at the University of Miami and that building. And you trying to sit there and tell me just because this man broke the record and sat out in the Pop-Tart Bowl, you gonna question him about his leadership and as a quarterback in the NFL? We need to start taking people Twitter accounts away.
And it's like what you said earlier, man. If there's one player on that team that deserves to do whatever you want to do, it's him.
It's him.
He earned it. And I'm glad, but the fan of me, I'm glad because they show you Emory ain't him. Go to the portal and get me a portal.
There you go, but dog, you ready to ship everybody.
Thank you for showing us that we need a quarterback.
After the second half, I mean,
that's I'm not saying you feel me, but we need some competition, but we not, bro. The 1 year get it back.
And they need to, Ken, with that money that they got down there in UM, because y'all boys throwing everybody that back. Hey, man, depending on what Quint ears do.
Hey, we watching that. Hey, watching that.
You go out in the backyard under the grill, right? Bag under there.
Yeah, but y'all can't keep doing that now in the 1 year rentals. Y'all need to get somebody who's gonna be there for 3 years.
Got that boy Luke. We got a freshman coming in now. That boy, nice.
Oh, I think I've seen him before. I think Cam Newton had coached him on this little 7-on-17. I'm pretty sure. I think. But yeah, he definitely looks solid. As long as you get a little freshman or sophomore in there that can be there for a couple years, I think that's what every team really needs instead of them 1 year rentals. Then we had the Alamo Bowl too. We had Colorado play BYU, and BYU they wasn't playing around. Them boys,
no games.
them boys came to play. They put a hurting on Colorado. So obviously Sojourn, Shiloh, Dion, and Travis, they went out a little sad in their final game. But hey, good to see them boys actually play. And they played them the whole entire game too. Dion, they let them lead that mud. We get whooped, y'all finna
Y'all get whooped.
Check it out. Get whooped together.
You gonna thug it out. So that I thought that was good to see too, because I mean, sure, look, maybe some other team, maybe I don't know, some other coaches, they would have pulled them dudes out of the game, or them dudes would have been like, hey, I'm done. Like, man, I got a draft coming up. Like, we getting whooped. Well, I ain't playing the rest of it. So I thought from a character standpoint, that was cool to see them dudes actually try and compete through the 4 quarters. But shout out to BYU. Them boys was ready for the moment. Rex Loft, their quarterback, handled business. They little DB called him a little pick, did the prime time and everything. Them boys, the boys came to play. So definitely shout out to them. Tough one, for Colorado and everything. But it'll be interesting to see what it look like for them boys, going forward. Next year. You lose a lot of star power there, but they've been bringing in recruits and everything. See that young talent. If Dion can, I mean, this is what we're really gonna, figure out whether Dion, really good coach and everything in college football, which I think he's pretty solid. But now you ain't got your sons and your stepson or your
Heisman winner, stepson.
So it might look a little different. So we'll see what Colorado looks like. And before we go, we got some college football playoff games starting tomorrow. We got Penn State, Boise, and we kind of talked about last week, so we haven't got Ken's opinion on some of these matchups coming up. So what you think about the Penn State Boise, the first matchup of the weekend?
I think it's not going to be like what they did against SMU. I feel like Boise State will keep them more competitive than what SMU did, but I see Penn State winning that one convincingly. I just don't see, obviously they're going to game plan for the running back, but I think Penn State going to handle that.
I think it'll be closer than what people think, though, because
so
Penn State offense is not they ain't wowing nobody.
It ain't great.
They're not as long as Boise defense don't just give up explosive plays and make them work. Mm-hmm. I think it's be close because you know what Boise gonna do. They're gonna
ground and pound.
Gonna get handed off about at least 25, 30 times to Jenny. Kind of get that time of possession. So I think it'd be closer to what people think. But I agree. I think Penn State does win it. But yeah, I think it'll be a good match. Hopefully this round's matchups will be a little bit closer than the first round.
They will.
And Boise State, for some other reason, they got some little magic going on in that Fiesta Bowl, right? Like when you go back and look at history, there's been some matchups. I know one against Oklahoma. They ran a little Statue of Liberty play. Like they be bringing out the tricks.
Johnson, whatever his name
was. He was on the front cover of college football after that. Like,
no, was lit.
I feel like, but yeah, part of me, dog, I want to go with Boise. I want to go with Jenny because I know he got a fire burning in him from that whole Heisman deal. But I got to go at the powerhouse and go Penn State. I just think Boise not gonna have enough power.
Then we got Texas, Arizona State. So most people, gonna pick Texas in that one. How you feel? How you feel about that one, Ken?
I'm going Texas. I haven't really watched Arizona State a lot this year. I did see them towards the end. I did watch them against BYU. They killed BYU. BYU tried to come back and make a little comeback, but I like Texas in that one. I don't really see much Arizona State much, but we'll see. You never know in these games. You never know. They better come to play. Yeah. But I see Texas handling business.
Texas got to deal with Scatter. Is it Scatter? Both Scatter. They got to deal with him, man. And that boy a menace, dog.
It's kind of similar to that Boise State game to me. It's like if Scatterbo get rolling early on that football game.
Trouble.
Look at like, damn, this boy for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like, they one of them teams. Look, they coach. I think he's the youngest coach in college football. So you know he's gonna have that energy, have them boys juiced up. Hopefully they're not, they ain't gonna overdo it, and that get you blown out sometimes. But yeah, if Scatterbo get rolling early, it may be closer than what we think, and then I think Texas will end up pulling away by at least 14 towards the end. But hopefully that's a good matchup. Then we got Ohio State, Oregon rematch there.
That's the one.
That's gonna be the game of the weekend right there.
Before you go on, you said Texas. Are you saying Texas run line? That was you said. That's the spread. That's 13.5.
I like that. I like them, but I think it'll be close, and then Texas may create some explosive plays, towards the end and really kind of separate it. Yeah. I like Texas with the spread. I like.
What bowl game is that? Is that the Sugar Bowl?
That is a Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
Chick-fil-A. Shit. Because home field advantage don't matter really in these games, but at the same time, our fans really gonna travel from Arizona to Georgia. I know Texas is gonna travel, so it's gonna be interesting, man. I know it's not much of a factor in these next games, but still, when you got to go into a hostile environment and you see all orange, you don't know. So it's a big game. I'm gonna go Texas. I don't know, bro. I ain't trusting Quentin like that. That's the thing. Like, he ain't been playing. Last playing decent.
Last week he played all right.
Last week he played all right, but it's just a matter of I don't know. But Texas will win the game. Now the whole run line and spread that should get tricky.
We said 14, and that's the spread. So I just put that in there.
Yeah, I think they end up winning by at least 14. Then we got Ohio State, Oregon. How you feel about that one?
Ooh, so early on, man, I was saying I like O State because it's hard to beat a team twice. But it's just like, talking with Jay earlier, like we said, we're talking to lunch and stuff like that. That offense, I don't know if O State can stop that offense, man, but it's going to be interesting to see. O State has been playing better towards the end of the season. But I'm gonna go O State. I think they beat Oregon.
Oh, you think they beat them?
Yeah.
You taking Oregon too, James?
I like Ohio State.
You like Ohio? You taking Ohio State too? Damn.
Yeah.
I just don't think Ohio State gonna have no answer for Tez Johnson. Like, he's the key piece in this whole thing. Obviously, Stewart on the outside, the other receiver that got ejected from the game for spitting on a player in the first matchup. I just think Oregon got too many weapons. I feel like if Oregon's gonna win this game, it's gonna all fall on Dylan Gabriel and Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson gonna have to make some great plays in the pass game. In the receiving game, and just be a mismatch for everybody. And then Dylan Gabriel, you cannot turn the ball over. Like, and I'm not saying that he has, but this is just a game where you got to play mistake free football. So I'm gonna go Oregon. I've been riding with Oregon, and I got them winning the Nash. So we'll see. But I feel like this is a national championship caliber game. I wish they could have set it up where maybe we would have got it a little bit later on in the playoffs.
Yeah, but you say that about buddy from Oregon. What about who got an answer for Smith? So
it's crazy. They did the first game. They did a decent job, right? And I think when you got a generational, like, best receiver that we've seen in college football in a long time type of deal, you're not going to be able to stop them, right?
No, for sure.
But you gotta sit there. Oh, Jahmyr Gibbs, good. You're not gonna be able to sit there and stop him. But I think you just gotta make it extremely tough on him. And he is a freshman. He's a man child out there, but he's a freshman. And you gotta exploit some of the, his weaknesses. You got a whole season of film of where I can see what he liked and what his dislikes. And I know he's a person of very few words, but if I was Oregon's D coordinator and game plan, I'd be telling my guys, man, talk a little shit in his ear, right? You make a good play. just figure out and see how you can poke him and get him off his game, because he's a huge fan of Jeremiah Smith. From the career, want him to do good. But at the same time, he's a freshman, and he hasn't seen much, I don't want to say adversity as a star player yet, right? Like, he's been able to
really pushed him. Yeah,
right. He hasn't really run across somebody or run across adversity of being in a spot where, man, dang, these boys holding on me a little bit. They talking a little noise. Yeah, everybody barking in my ear. Like, it got to be something that can tick him off and get him off his game. And if it isn't, you just got to live with the damage and havoc that he caused. But I just feel like, you're not going to stop him. My key thing would be eliminating Mbuka out the game plan totally. Like, two can't get off. If they both get off, you got no chance. You got no chance at all.
They got 3-2 now. They got Carter. So they got to do it.
Yeah.
To me, I think they win based off Ohio State's defense. I know last week, what they were able to do against Tennessee. I know it was a home game, so a little bit different. They just lost to Michigan and everything, so they're extra fired up. But they got number one defense in the country now. Them boys
humming.
The boys bringing the pain last week. They were smacking Nico live. They were woo. I was like, oh, that boy, he got that coach. Boy, hitting. So, we'll see if that run game for
Will Howard though.
Yeah, well,
I don't trust him. He's gonna be
that's my only question mark.
He played well last week. I like the way he stood in the paint. I know it wasn't really competitive, for the most part, but I like the way he threw the football last week. Gave me some more confidence because going into the game, I picked Tennessee to win last week based off Will Howard.
Nash,
yeah. I did. I was going for an underdog to go out there and win it, but them boy laid an egg, boy was sleep. But we had a final game. We got Notre Dame, Georgia. Georgia obviously won't have their starting quarterback, Carson Beck, declared for the draft. What you like in this matchup, Ken?
Notre Dame, baby. Notre Dame.
Oh, he's a nutcase. What?
Notre Dame, too. I know that.
What's up with you boys?
Yes, sir. Ground and pound, baby. Ground and pound. That defense, that secondary, them boys balling, man. Them boys balling. Backup quarterback there in Georgia.
I think that's really the Notre Dame defense is really good. Georgia's receivers are obviously talented, but them boys be dropping that rock. And they're gonna play man, so it ain't gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be much separation going on. So the boys really gonna have to come to play and make some contested catches. Then you got your backup quarterback who he played well, last weekend or whatever in the SEC championship a couple weekends ago. But it was mostly running the football. So we'll see if he can, make some tight window throws against a good secondary. So I think it's gonna be very close though. I don't think it's like Notre Dame for the run away with it based off the backup quarterback. Close game. I think Notre Dame runs the football. Jeremiah Love, number 4, he explosive. That boy's special. And he ended up ripping one off. It's gonna be tough though. It ain't gonna be easy for Notre Dame. It's gonna be one of them 14, 13, like grind it out, like close behind football game.
Take the under. Take the under.
The crazy thing is, man, we sit there, we talk about Notre Dame defense being so elite, which they are. Georgia got a defense.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be low scoring.
The question marks, the two question marks I got with Notre Dame is one, just Notre Dame being Notre Dame in these big games. For my whole life, right? Like I could remember Notre Dame making it to the national championship with Manti Te'o and having a great team and getting smoked. And so it just always seems like when they get to the big game, they can't close it out. And then the quarterback, right? Like he has games where he plays really well, and then he got some games where it's just like, what the hell is going on? So I'm interested to see, right, with a sticky defense and a pass rush that like Georgia does have, how he's going to react into those situations. And again, I mean, not to take anything away from Notre Dame, but they haven't really had the schedule wasn't that bad. It wasn't that tough. So this is going to be outside of the Texas A&M game. This is going to be a real defense where it's like, hey, you got multiple guys that could potentially be first round draft picks. You got the 2 edge rushers, you got the safety. Georgia's defense is going to put him in some situations. So I'm going to take Georgia, but it's going to be super, super close. I hope Kirby Smart come out and get them boys one of them speeches that I had the whole country ready that speech he had in the national championship a couple of years ago, I was ready to just put it and just run through a wall. Yeah, like make them bleed. Make them bleed, right? So, but I'm gonna go GA in it, man.
Speaking of that, we gotta get Hightower on there to explain that, make him bleed, Joe. We go during the off season. I gotta have my dog come on the pod and explain that. That caught me off.
What these boys? When you told us that, like, but what these boys?
Bleed. They last, sure enough.
Boy, they made
giving up nothing. Giving up nothing, man. But yeah, hopefully, starting off tomorrow, hopefully it's a good game. And on Wednesday, we get some more good games on New Year's Day. But that's a wrap for this Money Down podcast on the Believe Network, presented by betonline.ag. Appreciate you guys tuning in, liking, subscribing, keep showing love.